okay. This is a solar minimum, right? Isn't this a solar minimum? Yes, it is. But that doesn't stop the sun from exploding. Good news is that massive hole, coronal hole in the sun's atmosphere was facing away from us because, folks, there was a massive explosion on the sun, releasing a powerful solar flare. Now, BP Earthwatch went and calculated the timestamp when this explosion took place on the sun, and then studied it was just less than an hour later, we had a 6.7 mega earthquake hit Turkey, which then created a tsunami that hit the coastline of Turkey and Greece. 2 people are killed, 200 are injured. They're still digging people out from underneath the rubble. Unbelievable, powerful quake of 6.7, very shallow, and sending tsunami waves across the Mediterranean Sea, threatening even the coastlines of other nations. There's no question that solar flares, CMEs released from the sun, have direct effect upon the tectonic plates on the earth. This is got to be understood by the scientific community. And maybe it's because BP Earthwatch came up with this, that they're struggling to accept this theory. But we've seen it time and time again. Dutch Sense now even says that he realizes there's a connection, and even some of the scientists at NASA are recognizing it. So it is actually, they've known it the whole time. I tell you why they don't want to talk about it, because they're running CERN, and CERN weakens our magnetosphere around the earth. So if the sun has a solar flare and our magnetosphere protecting us is weak, we're going to get hit harder and harder, and it's going to make the earthquakes that we even more intense. So, I mean, there's always a method behind the madness of the media and why they don't want to report this. So anyway, we've had the massive, let me just tell you what's going on. 3 days ago, of course, we know that sunspot AR2665 rotated off the solar disk, beginning a 2-week transit on the far side of the sun. And we're in a solar minimum, so there really should have been nothing to worry about. But AR2665 may not be visible, but we know it's still active, and because the coronal hole is so large, it poses a danger to Earth even from the backside of the sun. A coronal mass ejection, which is known as the CME, billowed over the edge of the sun, signaling an explosion in the sun's magnetic canopy. Now, I'll put the link below. You can actually watch that video over at BP Earthwatch's YouTube channel. This means another slice of the solar system is having its cosmic rays scooped up. A forbush decreased is underway in the wake of the CME. Earth will not be affected at this time. Really? Then go tell that to the people of Turkey and Greece and the waves racing across the Mediterranean. Go help dig the people out underneath the rubble, and then tell them that the CME will not affect the earth. Are you serious? So anyway, we're going to leave this with you. I mean, I think some of the scientists have got to go back and take a look at this thing. I'll just look at it from a biblical standpoint, since I'm not a meteorologist, I'm not a seismologist, I'm not a cardiologist, I'm not a urologist, I'm not even an ophthalmologist, I'm not a cosmetologist. I don't even think, I just know this. The Bible says in the last days that dangerous times will come, perilous times will come. Jesus said in the last days there would be wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things are going to come to pass. The end is not yet. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilences, earthquakes in divers places. He goes on and tells you about a lot of apocalyptic signs. And if you don't believe Jesus in Matthew 24 about the false Christ and false prophets will rise, well, then go over to Isaiah 24. Because Isaiah would tell you 800 years before Christ told you that the earth is going to have a pole shift in Isaiah 24:1, and that you will start hearing the sounds of the apocalypse in the heavens. And noise, booming, coming from the earth of the pit below your feet, and that the earth would start to reel and rock like a drunkard. That's all in Isaiah 24. Again, that's if you believe the Bible. And if you study the prophetic earthquakes of the Bible, you'll understand that so many times, prophetically, when God was doing something, he would send an earthquake as confirmation. Also, as I've been studying, he'll send a solar flare. A solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. So check out all the signs of the end times. Don't miss today's live broadcast. We'll get you up to speed on all of these events, including the Middle East madness that's starting to break loose, and how Jerusalem is becoming a cup of trembling and a burdensome stone for all people. This is becoming part of the Zechariah 12 prophecy in play right now. And it's going to get worse, folks. It's going to get worse. Are you saved?